Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another boxing prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for Teofimo versus Shakur. The ring, I don't know if that's 4 or 5 or 6, but hey, I know I'm not exactly an expert on Roman numerals, but it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, Teofimo versus Shakur, that's all you need to know. So I'll be giving full card prediction for this boxing card. So yeah, let's get into it and scroll on to the first fight on the card. First fight we have in the 147-pound division, we got Ziad Al-Mayouf versus Kevin Castillo. Not gonna give it so much time. You know, it's a fight that's clearly like it's a fight to build up this guy. You know, this happens a lot in boxing. They just clearly try to build up guys like 20 fights, just feeding them people. This guy might give him some little work here and there, but he's supposed to lose. And it's not my job to give this guy confidence. Like, this guy is supposed to come here and win, look good. But I'll just guesstimate. Let me see. I'll guesstimate decision. I guess the guy will be tough enough. Tough enough. So in this one, I got Ziad Al-Mayouf via decision, but this guy should win. Did I even get my confidence level? It's irrelevant to build a fight, so why not? I'll give high confidence Ziad Al-Mayouf. Why not? It is what it is. Matchup is irrelevant. It's on the card though, so I'll just predict it. Next fight we got in the heavyweight division, we got Jarrell Miller versus Kingsley Ibe. If that's how you say it, Ibe, whatever. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'll go average confidence, Jarrell Miller to beat Kingsley Ibe. Ibe's he's not like no super technical fighter, to be honest. Got an athletic build, good frame, good genetic gifts, but his technique ain't nothing particularly special. And his path to victory just particularly relies on getting, knockouts and whatnot. I won't say stoppages. It's not MMA. He's not gonna submit somebody or nothing. It's like, no, you win by knocking people out in boxing. There's no submissions or nothing like that. Yeah. So his paths to victory, in other fights and pretty much all of his fights, pretty much kind of rely behind the knockout. And Jarrell Miller, one thing about him is that he's extremely tough. And he's been in with some of the heavier hitters in the weight class. And, he's durable and he has good defense. The output may lack, but it's not like Ibe is a particularly high output fighter. So that's why I can see, people beating Miller. People that have good fundamentals and be able to stick the jab and move on him. And people that are going to be able to put volume on him and, take advantage of the fact that he will take a lot of shots and then just pick a shot, he'll go rounds just taking off a good chunk. If you're a volume puncher and he's looking to work that final 30 seconds or that final minute or work at the early 30 then work the final 30, like Miller definitely just tanks a lot in these fights. Like just just shells up, let his opponent work and then picks his shots here and there, just try to extend himself and not waste his gas tank too much. But yeah, Ibe, don't really see those skills in him. The volume's not there. The technique's not really there. Not to say he's not. He just has no technique to get off. I'm just saying he's not. I wouldn't classify him as a technically skilled fighter. Like, oh, this not no guy that no. I would say would even be able to really thrive at all in no high level Olympic level or nothing like that, or high level amateur level. This guy is a pro. Just a typical kind of feel like straight to pro. Even though that's probably not the case for him. But yeah, this technical skills ain't there. Jarrell Miller already beat him before. I think he'll beat him again. I'll say around 5th round. Just take his shots, pick his shots better, break it down over the course of the fight. Ibe's power not really having the effect that he has had in other fights. And also, Ibe hasn't really fought nobody impressive since losing to Miller. It's like he just been fighting, I would say, fights he's supposed to win since there, and he hasn't really tested himself. And now he's going back in there with the same guy that already knocked him out last time they fought. So I just don't really see much happening different. And I see Jarrell Miller again, just taking the shots, picking the shots better, breaking them down, taking the shots that are dished at him, defending them better, dealing with them better, and then Miller putting the pressure in the shots on Ibe, and then putting him away in the 5th round. So in this one, I got Jarrell Miller via 5th round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Bruce Carrington versus Carlos Castro. And how do I feel about this one right here? Well, I haven't even been doing my confidence, but anyway, this is not UFC. But anyway, it is what it is. But in this how I feel about this one right here is I'll go average confidence Bruce Carrington to beat Carlos Castro. Don't know a whole lot about Castro or enough as I would want about Castro. But yeah, I don't think he's no particular great matchup for Bruce Carrington. I think Bruce Carrington should be able to box his head off. But I do think that Carlos Castro will be tough and make it to the distance. But yeah, I just think the skills ain't on the level, and I don't think that puncher's chances that great here. I just think Bruce Carrington puts a boxing clinic on him. Matter of fact, Bruce Carrington probably needs a stoppage. He's been talking about it in OA, talking about this and that and stuff. So he probably needs a stop. So he's probably going to get a stoppage. So I'll say like a 6th-round TKO for Bruce Carrington. Matter of fact, 7th round. He's not the greatest finisher. He don't have the most power, but he sit on his punch a little bit more, take a little bit of risk. After boxing this guy head off for like the majority of the fight, I can see him set up a finish late in this fight, especially with boxing being so quick to stop fights when there's a star they're trying to build up. So it might not be your textbook TKO, like you knock the guy off his socks and the guy just can't physically get up. It might be a case where the guy's getting outclassed and not doing anything or not doing enough, and then Carrington just throws a couple punches in a flurry with the guy, shelling up in the corner and the ref stops it. Probably one of those. But either way, like a 7th-round stoppage for Bruce Carrington. So in this one, I got Bruce Carrington via 7th-round TKO. Now to our next fight. We have in the middleweight division, we got Carlos Adams versus Austin Williams. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'll go average confidence Carlos Adams to beat Austin Williams. So I just have not seen Austin Williams has fought some good competition, but I have not seen him beat particularly standout competition. Not to say that he's a bad fighter, but there's levels to boxing. And Adams is kind of approaching the elite level. I said, why are you saying he's not elite? I don't feel like Adams is truly elite, like elite. There's a lot of world champions in boxing. Maybe like in MMA and much more where it's like there's literally one champion, that's the elite of the elite. But boxing, there's multiple world champions. I don't feel like Adams is like truly elite. When you think elite, you think like Canelo, you think Crawfords, you think Inoue, you think Shakurs, you think Haney's and whatnot. Uziks and whatnot. Like Adams is a world champion and whatnot, but I'm still not sold on his skills as far as like a guy that can, truly test himself to be an actual great. That's what I'm saying. Like, can you be an actual potential to be great? Have you shown that? No. So he's not of the elite, in my opinion, at all. But Williams has shown me really nothing in that part. He has the height, he has a good reach advantage here, but I don't feel like I feel like Adams is the more technical fighter. I feel like he picks his shots better. And I'm gonna say I'll say 8th-round TKO. I think Austin Williams' power will keep Adams honest long enough. And I think the reach of Austin Williams will give Adams something to deal with. But eventually Adams will be able to get through that reach. More consistent landing shots, break down Austin Williams over the course of the fight. And then I think he stops him in the 8th round. So in this one, I got Carlos Adams via 8th round TKO. Might be earlier, but it is what it is. That's my prediction. Next one, we got in the co-main event in the 140-pound division. We got Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'll go average confidence Keyshawn Davis to beat Jermaine Ortiz. I don't think Keyshawn Davis is going to have the same issues that Teofimo had with Ortiz. Keyshawn Davis is not a guy that, has as much issue trying to trace a tricky southpaw. He has trained plenty of times with Shakur Stevenson, so this guy is nowhere near the level of Shakur Stevenson and never will be. No insult to him. It's the fact, honest of the truth. It's the fact, honest matter of the truth. I'm just making the words and sayings, but and butchering them. But yeah, he's dealt with much better on a regular basis. And again, Keyshawn Davis is not as much of like a counterpuncher as like a Teofimo is and a Shakur is. So Keyshawn Davis will be able to track him down, will be able to cut him off. And I think Jermaine Ortiz won't be as much trying to fight off the back foot as much in this fight. I think he'll be trying to meet Keyshawn in the middle some more. He'll be trying to put Keyshawn on the back foot, but I think Keyshawn on the inside had the better work. I think Keyshawn packed more power. I think Keyshawn's more technical. I think overall I think Keyshawn's the better fighter. Maybe you just say who's off the back foot is better. Maybe Jermaine Ortiz off the back foot is slightly better. But overall, I think Keyshawn Davis is clearly the better fighter here. Is the whole overall package. Again, Jermaine just might have. Also, I think Jermaine low-key might be more defensively sound. I feel like Keyshawn, but then again, Keyshawn sacrificed a little bit of defense for the offense that he brings, and he's very good with his offense. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna say a stoppage here. I say decision. I think Jermaine Ortiz, with his footwork, his defensive, ability, and also his high-level experience against Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, and as such, these high-level fights he has had against high-level competitors. I think, that would be able to keep him in a fight, that experience. And also, this is only a 10-rounder. So all these things will factor him not getting finished. I can see him getting hurt in this fight, but I don't see him getting finished. But ultimately, I see Keyshawn dictating the pace of this fight off the front foot, back foot, mostly front foot, winning the pocket, like dominate the fight when it's in the pocket, having a superior jab, digging to the body, breaking down Jermaine Ortiz over the course of the fight, and beating him in a decision. I think it's a pretty clear decision. I think he might give Ortiz like 3 rounds, maybe 4. But I think I'm saying more so around 3 or 2 rounds going to Ortiz and the rest of the rounds going to Davis. No 10-8s, I don't think, but a bunch of 10-9s and Keyshawn Davis winning by decision here. So in this one, I got Keyshawn Davis via decision. And I think I did say average competition. Now to our main event, we have in the 140-pound division, the lightweight, super lightweight division, we got Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'll go low confidence Shakur Stevenson to beat Teofimo Lopez. I like Shakur a lot here, but you got to give Teofimo his respect, and also the fact that Teofimo is such a guy that he rises to his opponent level, or he falls to his opponent level. So you always got to be concerned about a guy with this much talent and this much ability, and he's still young. It's not like you fighting like an old Teofimo. They're both young and in their prime. They're both skilled. They're both accomplished. Like, this is truly elite level competition. Unlike what Inoue has been fighting, these scrubs Inoue has been fighting. Like, he's been fighting washed up bums. Like, Inoue has never fought someone with similar level of talent. So when you're dealing with people fighting a real level of talent, you can't be locked in like that. And even then, Inoue still be getting dropped by these bumps. So yeah, this is a real skilled competition. But I go Shakur Stevenson. Let me just confirm a couple days real quick. Teofimo, they're actually supposed to be the same height. Teofimo actually has the reach advantage by half an inch. But I feel like Shakur will look like the longer fighter there. He'll fight like the longer fighter there. And his jab will be longer. And I'll still give him the longer fighter edge, even though they're supposed to be the same height. And Lopez is supposed to have a small reach advantage. I think Shakur controls the distance much better. Teofimo Lopez, he can box. He has an extensive boxing background. Extensive amateur background. He can do it all, just like Shakur can do it all. Maybe except Shakur knocking people out consistently outside that. But they both can box. Shakur does lack power, but I think Shakur's a more technical boxer. I think he has more defensive savvy. I think he still is the most defensively sound fighter in boxing today. Best footwork probably in boxing today right now, currently, as far as active fighters. And I also think Teofimo struggles with fighters that are slick, savvy, good footwork. He kind of struggles to cut the cage. Struggles to cut the ring off. And I think Shakur will exploit that. Also, I think Teofimo Lopez will be looking for those big, flashy, flurry shots a lot, especially when he's not able to land, the jab like he wants to, not able to get his footing like he wants to. He'll start to look for the big explosive stuff. He'll start to look for the big motions. And I think Shakur is not really going to buy into that. He's going to continue to make a miss. And now he plays game. Like, he said what he's going to do, what he's about. He's not here to necessarily wow the fans. Like, at the end of the day, you can try to wow the fans, and then you lose, the fans going to turn it back on you anyway. Just keep winning, keep pissing them off, and I think what he's going to do. Teofimo going to try to cut the ring off, and Shakur's not going to be letting him doing that too much. Going to roll with the shots well. I think low-key Shakur is going to do better in the pocket. Teofimo going to try to cover that distance, try to land big shots, but he's not landing. He's going to try to get in, try to get ugly. Shakur's going to defend well, dig to the body, shove him off, stick the jab, get back on his bike, and just continue to put a clinic on Lopez. But I do think this is a good, scrappy fight, and I think they both bring the best out of each other. And also, again, it's not like either guy like truly ugly fighters. Not to say that it's ugly to have that style, but they're not really. Neither of them are truly brawlers, to be honest. So you don't think Lopez is the heavier hitter. He'll go out there and push the pillow fist Shakur back and just physically and put his will on him and put his head into his chest and dig into his body. That's not his body. That's not what Lopez does. Lopez is a slick countering fighter. He's be in and out. Like to be flashy, like to be athletic. Shakur is a technical, defensive sound fighter. Likes to stick and move and hit and not be hit. They're both chess players, but I do think that Shakur is the better chess player here, and I think ultimately this fight will favor him, and he'll win the decision. But close, competitive decision. Could see this one being split, but I do think Shakur will have the cleaner work, more consistent work, and the better stats here, and that will lead to him getting a decision victory. So in this one, I got Shakur Stevenson via decision. And so that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for Teofimo versus Shakur. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And come back for more predictions. Peace.